Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Fussy Bird here. Just wanted to share a build that I've been working on for League Start of 317. It is a self-cast Dark Pact Poison Occultist. Um, it's a little crazy to League Start this self-cast Dark Pact. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dark Pact, but it is a skill that hurts you while you cast it. So trying to League Start with skills like this, Forbidden Right, for example, can be a little painful, but the damage speaks for itself and it's pretty high. So carrying yourself through things like boss fights early on when you have no gear is actually not too bad. You just have to really watch out for your life pool and play a little bit carefully. At any point of the build, I feel that is really the case. You do have to play with a general care in mind. There is any point where you could not be hitting the enemy and therefore you're not leeching life, or something, one of your sustain layers could not be functioning properly because you're not meeting the conditions, and that could spell the end of you pretty quickly because you cast really quickly with the build as well. I'll demonstrate here for you, but ultimately just wanted to share some of the progress we've made. So what we've started off with, we're on really trash gear outside of a couple decent uniques. So we do have a Devouring Diadem. The Diadem was the first unique that I went and farmed for, and the reason for this is I wanted to be able to fit in quite a few auras on the build. So you'll notice here we have Grace running, we have Herald of Agony, we have Determination, we have Skitterbots, we also have Vitality, we also have Defiance Banner, we also have Temporal Rift, and eventually, if I am feeling up to it, I might even go ahead and add in Herald of Ash. It doesn't really need the extra clear, but adding in Herald of Ash, there's just a couple of things I would need to add, like a mana reservation, efficiency, small cluster, things like that, and I would be able to achieve it. But again, it's really up to whether it's worth it or not, and probably right now it's not. As you can see, our life pool's pretty shit. We do have a good increase max life off the tree. It's about 185, and you can go higher if you like. The thing is that I have really bad life rolls on all my gear, because again, I'm just looking to push the Atlas as quickly as I could and just trying to deal as much damage as I could right away. So the way this functions too, I should mention I do have the Ashes of the Stars as well, and this was really just used for the extra reservation efficiency. Once again, just looking to get as much reservation efficiency into the build as possible to slam as much auras as we could as possible. This also gives a +1 to all skill gems, so of course this is still giving us some damage. It's just not nearly as much as a well-crafted rare would give us, obviously. As far as that goes, that's all for uniques. We do have actually a Watcher's Eye, I shouldn't lie. We do have a Watcher's Eye, and the Watcher's Eye is just a standard life gain on hit Watcher's Eye. I have Unaffected by Enfeeble while affected by Grace on there. This was a 3x Watcher's Eye. It's nothing special. But this is something that we use in the build, and currently we are level 91, and again, shitty life pool, but yeah, the build is a blast to play. It's been a lot of fun. And as far as gear goes, we're in really bad gear. This wand is serviceable. I did buy it for 5 chaos. It's serviceable. It does decent damage for now, but it can definitely get a lot better with some dot multi rolls and things like that. This wand is just simply used as our trigger wand, and it's really bad. It's just got a cast speed roll on it and our increased chaos damage craft. So this wand can of course get much better as well. And then we don't get anything but a curse ring with really bad life, some recoup, and a damage craft, and then we've got some life and res and some more recoup here. We've got apothecaries here, but I've replaced the mod for the increased damage over time to grab the hinder, and then I also went and slapped on the increased damage per frenzy charge just to kind of make up for that loss of the increased damage over time. So these actually ended up working out pretty well for me. And then we've got a belt here. Once again, no damage or anything coming off the belt. And we've got some boots here, which I replaced the implicit once again to get a little more damage and move speed just out of that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and run a map here. It's just a standard little T15. Hopefully we don't die. Again, small life pool. And it is a work in progress with lots and lots of optimization still left to go. So as you can see, the Profane Bloom does a pretty good job of clearing and just handling that matter. So I'm not sure if working in Herald of Ash is really worth it, but I just love the look of the MTX. I'm an MTX addict. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, so if I see a way to add in more, I'm probably going to take that. I don't know if anybody else shares that sentiment in Path of Exile with me, but I think they nail it with a lot of their MTX. Not that way. Oop. And I won't run any of the league mechanic in this demonstration just because, well, it'll take a little long to kind of figure out recipes and do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it handles the league mechanic just fine. And most of the content is handled just fine. Some of the big thick bosses I haven't tried yet, like Maven and Sirus, but all of the minor bosses before Exarch and Eater of Worlds I've downed, and I downed them before even getting my diadem or anything. So we didn't have determination and we didn't have vitality at that time, and we didn't have and we didn't have any life gain on hit at that time. So yeah, it was fun, and I was really just carrying for all my friends in the guild. It was really funny because it was really dicey at the time too. Obviously, you know, you make one foul move, one wrong move and you're dead. But it was so fun to just watch bosses melt very quickly with the build in its early stages. Gets going off of very, very little gear as far as damage goes, and then as long as you're a little bit crafty with how you work your tree and use your gear slots with your recoup and regen, grab yourself a little leech where you can. And early way of grabbing that is at Ziri's Promise. It gets you a lot of life leech actually off of that flask. But yeah, using little gimmicks like that to try and just work your way around the life costs early on is quite important. I don't know why I keep doing that. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. Bosses go down really easily, and again, you'll notice like the life pool goes crazy when you start bossing. A lot of that is, again, you're casting so fast you really can't keep up. Regardless of how much regen you have, you're probably not going to be able to keep up with the cost. And just to give you a quick example, we run Vitality. We also have Consecrated Ground through Purifying Flame through a cast when damage taken setup. And we also have the Pantheon upgraded for Solatukahama to grab us another 2% life regen while stationary. We have Growth and Decay for another close to 2% there. There's lots of sources of life regen plus flat regen coming off of our gear. We've got tons and tons of regen. We've got Feast of Flesh, Recovery. There are going to be times where you're thinking that you're going to die, and you won't die, because the amount of regen and recovery is actually insane. Bosses will still try and hit you, and it's just not killing you. If you ever get really, really scared and you're just thinking, hey, I'm going to die, then just do this. And you go ahead and Temporal Rift and you're fine. But overall, build's been a blast to play. I'll leave the POB in the link down below, and I'll be making a post here on Reddit as well for anybody who wants to follow. I also stream the build at twitch.tv/fussybirdtv. If you'd like to come hang out, smoke some weed, and come chill, make some builds, be free to come do so. I'd love to have you. Anyways, thanks again, guys. I'd love to see you, and I'd love to hear your comments and hear what you think about the build. And if you have any questions at all, just let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.